Good morning on SS10 News. It's Canada Day. Today we celebrate the first year anniversary of Canada becoming a country. Isn't that right, Jojo?
Absolutely. And out of respect for this glorious country, we would like to reflect on the Confederation of Canada and how we came together as one. Today we will cover a question that many of you may ask. Where did all these great ideas for the country come together? Over to you, Alicia.
Good morning, Canada. To answer your question, Jojo, it was the Confederation conferences that began in 1864. These conferences took place in Charlottetown, Quebec, and London. The first conference took place was in the maritime provinces such as New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. A little bit of background to the subject. These three British colonies believed that by forming some sort of union, they would be strengthened. I just finished filming some of the leaders of the conferences a couple days ago, and here's their results. Hi, I'm here with Sir Charles Tupper of Nova Scotia to discuss who joined and who did not join the Maritime Conference. Sir Charles, so you were one of the leaders of the Maritime Conference, correct?
That's correct.
Who were the other leaders at that time?
Well, there was Sir Samuel Leonard Tilley of New Brunswick and John Hamilton Gray of PEI. But the man who brought these meetings to order was the Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick, Arthur Hamilton Gordon.
What happened in the transition from the Maritime Conference to the Charlottetown Conference?
Lots of us stayed for the Charlottetown Conference. Though we wanted to discuss uniting the maritime provinces, we are open to discussion of Canada becoming a country. Many arguments took place between the French and the English elites of Canada West, and Canada East. Government was a mess at the time, but things started to pick up when the Quebec Conference took place.
Really? What happened in Quebec?
Long story short, delegates such as George Cartier from Canada East and John A. Macdonald from Canada West played a huge part when it came to discussing the distribution of powers. Macdonald wanted a dominant central government, but Cartier worried about the interests of French people and how much people of the maritime provinces would get, so they wanted a provincial government system.
So, weren't these topics resolved soon?
If you mean the 72 resolutions, then yes. 50 of the 72 were drafted by Macdonald. Basically, he was the only one at the conference with a background in constitutional law. Quote-unquote, he told his friend Sir James Gowen, "As it is, I have no help. No one has the slightest idea of constitution making. Whatever is good or ill in the constitution is mine."
Interesting. Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, no, but I'm not done yet. 2 years later, there was another conference in London, Ontario. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Canada had agreed to join Confederation. Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island declined. All that needed to be discussed at this point was getting the British North America Bill passed by British government.
Well, thank you for your time. That's all we have today. Thank you.
Our next topic of discussion is why were people against Confederation? According to anonymous sources, West Canadians were the ones against the idea of Confederation for Canada.
Money, power, and religion were the biggest issues of Canadian Confederation. First of all, a plan was formed to build a railway across Canada. This would cost a boatload of money. Secondly, there was the risk of all members of Confederation were going to be equal. If this occurred, Canada West, aka Upper Canada, would lose the advantage of higher population, and lastly, has raised questions of identity.
Don't forget to paraphrase Joseph Howe, a longtime Nova Scotia politician who guided the colony to responsible government. He strongly opposed Confederation and criticized Macdonald. He said Nova Scotia is a strong independent province with extending crop, fishery, and mining interests. We have taken great care of our province and do not deserve to be under central government.
So much negative talk right now. I'm sure there were some people who had reasons for agreeing with the Confederation, right?
Of course there was. Earlier this week we had asked you to tweet us your reasons for agreeing with Confederation. At British Lady says, "I am completely for Confederation because this means Britain will focus more on our country than Canada." Others have reasons such as Confederation will solve the problem between Francophones and the English, and Canada being official reduces the risk of other wealthy countries such as the United States taking over.
Sir?
1, 2, 3.
Wow, you crap me up! Go away. You have to go away.
Go! Good morning on SS10 News. It's Canada Day. Today we celebrate the first year anniversary of Canada becoming a country. Isn't that right, Jojo?
I'm so sorry. I can't. Okay.
Could have worked.
In the maritime provinces, we were open to the discussion of Canada becoming a country. Many arguments took place between the French and the English elites of Canada West, Canada East.
West Canada. What?